Alrighty, we're going to do a big garden tour this evening. It's Wednesday. I'm not sure the exact date. Don't really matter. It's towards the end of July, which our corn is not where it should be at this time of year, but it's good enough. It will produce. I hope. It will. It's going to be all right. It's just going to be late. But we had a cold, dry spring this year. We had no rain in May for like May and June. We had no rain for like 3.5 to 4 weeks with no rain whatsoever. And this is dry down here. This whole garden's dry. We don't irrigate at all. So it's doing pretty well for the most part. But anyways, I'm going to go through here and show you what we got going on. I can't remember what kind of corn this is. It's definitely sweet corn, but I can't remember what kind.
Incredible?
Maybe. It might be Incredible. I think it's the same kind we grew last year, which we liked it. It's yellow corn. I'm not a big fan of the white corn. It's kind of almost tasteless. And the bicolor, I don't care for a whole lot for it either. I like yellow corn. But anyways, I weeded this the last couple of days. There was actually last Sunday, almost week and a half ago, we took all these weeds that was in here and we stomped them over, tried to break the stalks, thinking it would knock them over and break them off, but it didn't work. So this past Sunday afternoon and then this evening I weeded it with my stirrupo.
And it looks so much better.
And you can see there's a lot of weeds in here. It's actually now it's more or less a mulch, but it's in there pretty thick. But in these bare spots where there is none, in the next few days I got a bunch of zucchini that my lovely bride started in the greenhouse. I'm gonna plug them in these bare spots. We'll have plenty of time to get zucchini out of this bed. So, and this I'm going to let lay here. This will rot down. It'll feed the soil. So it's just building soil is what we're doing with it. So that's going to work fairly well, I believe.
You did a great job. That looks so much better.
A lot of them will come back, I'm sure. As thick as it was, it's no way I got them all, but I got most of them, I think. But it does look way better. Way better.
You can actually see the corn stalks now.
Yeah, this bed right here is sweet potatoes, which they're doing fair, not real good, but this soil ain't all that great either. Some down that way is doing way better, and then there's some back here at that end that's doing pretty good. And I don't know when it was. It's probably been 2 or 3 weeks ago now. I won't say for sure. Probably 2 or 3 weeks ago. I didn't know that this corn was going to do as good as it was because of the weed pressure it was getting. So I put 2 rows in here, one on each side of the sweet corn or sweet potatoes. So this will be pushing our season to grow, but we still should get some corn out of that this year, hopefully. And there's a lot of weeds. I just use my stirrupo and I let the weeds lay. You don't always get the roots, but if you do it enough, you'll break them. You break them off at the root level enough, they'll die eventually. I don't really worry too much about it. I just let them lay on top of the soil. I try to weed when it's wet or when it's hot and dry out, so they don't come back. Because right now, what I just pulled by hand, that you just seen, if it would rain this evening, that would take root again. But if it stays like this the next day or two, that'll die and dry up and rot away. But these down here is doing. See how much nicer these here are than them down on that end. And I don't know why that is. This end does get more sun than that end does. Maybe that's why. I don't know. This bed here, this bed is one of the 2 4-foot wide beds we have. It's a little harder to cross it, but it works. This bed here was gonna be our pinto beans, and we'll still get some pinto beans out of it. The other night we planted a bunch of leftover marigolds. It looked pretty disgusting. We just stuck them in the ground, see what they do. If they grow, great. If they don't, it's not that big a deal. We will get some beans out of it though. Some of these down here is looking pretty good. I didn't realize these pinto beans was a pole bean, but I guess they are. But they'll be all right. They're starting to flower, some of them are. So, but we'll let these go till they dry up. We'll let them dry up out here in the field. We won't mess with them much. This bed here is only 30 foot wide. We have wood chips in all of our walkways in this garden, which helps retain water and helps build the soil. Peppers, they've got a fair bit of bug damage, but they're doing better than they were before. I mix up fertilizer. If you've never seen the videos, I will link to those below. I do have quite a few videos of me making fertilizer out of weeds and whatnot, but I'll show you those. I'll link to them below. My latest one earlier this year was tomato out of tomatoes, and that's what I used last night on the entire garden was my tomato fertilizer, and I mixed a little bit of fishy emulsion with them. But the peppers, all in all, is doing fairly well. We don't have no peppers on. These are all sweet peppers down here on this side, and we have our hot peppers are on the other side of the pumpkin patch, which you can see there. And we got some marigolds in the center because of the peppers we had in that area. They didn't make it. The slugs ate them up. This here bed is mostly just flowers. Mostly. Say that, and there's a pepper there. There's a pepper there. This here is a Mexican sunflower. These here's pretty nice looking plants. It may be getting ready to bloom. I'm not sure.
I hope so.
We had one about this size up there. If you didn't see that video from Sunday night, it'll be linked below, but it'll also be titled Homestead Updates. There's a playlist of those down below. The last one we did from this past Sunday, I opened that up and mowed around it and let the fence down, and the deer got in there that night. So live and learn. I ain't too concerned. They didn't eat much. And since then, I sprayed some deer fencing and used some pellets stuff down. And they so far, knock on wood, hadn't been back. But these things here, I hopefully will be pretty. Then we got some regular sunflowers, and we got some marigolds, and then a pepper and another sunflower. On this here, I want to show you something. If you come in real close, this right here is cucumber beetles, eggs. So what I do is when I see those, I smash them out of existence. And I seen another one right here. For the most part, these squash, pumpkins, whatever you want to call them, has been doing fairly well this year. Here is a flower I need to get rid of because it's definitely losing. I don't want it dropping seeds down here because I'll never get rid of those if I do. So I don't want to lose seeds down here with those. So such is life. If you do, I don't see any more eggs right now. I'm sure there's a million of them in here, and I'll probably, after we make this video, I'll probably, right there's some more. I'll probably go through here fairly well and bust them up. I usually do that every day or two, every couple of days. I seen some last night. I didn't smash them when I was spraying. I should have went back and done it afterwards, but I didn't. But for the most part, they're not doing a whole lot of damage, and I don't necessarily mind the cucumber beetles. If the plants are like this, they won't eat enough to harm them. What I don't like is the vine borers. They'll kill them plants. It doesn't matter how big they are. I can't point out any squash at this point right here on this side, but over there's some nice ones. This is another Mexican sunflower. This is just a zucchini here. There's one on there. It's almost ready to pick. It'll probably be ready tomorrow, maybe the next day it'll come off there. For me personally, I'd pick it like that, but my wife likes them a little bit bigger. And I'm fine with that either way. And this zucchini here is definitely, to me, that's the perfect size for sure. The seeds aren't formed as good, so that's why I like them. And we also have some green beans in this bed with the pumpkins, and sunflowers and other flowers, and there's some watermelons back in there too somewhere. I think
somewhere
over the rainbow,
in between the green beans.
And over here, if the camera lady comes in a little bit closer, you can't really see it without that, but there's a marigold down in there. It's getting absolutely no light whatsoever,
and it's got a nice bloom on it.
Yeah, it does. And there's some dill in here.
Now, why you put dill in?
Dill is supposed to help with cucumber beetles. Do they? I honestly couldn't tell you. They're pretty looking.
They're pretty cool.
They are. But all in all, our garden's doing fairly well. It's definitely not the best garden we ever grew, but it's not bad for not putting enough compost down. I didn't have enough and I didn't buy any. Peppers are doing fairly well though. There's some bug damage and whatnot, and it was really, really hot today.
It's supposed to be until the weekend, I think.
Yeah, it's supposed to be in the 90s, and then Saturday it's supposed to rain is what they're calling for right now, which is whatever. And this bed right here was where our potatoes were last year, as you can plainly see. Somebody didn't get them all out of the ground. Someone had to be me, because she was doing other things when I was harvesting potatoes, so I missed some. I pulled this 3 or 4 times this spring whenever I seen it coming up, and after a while I was like, I'm fighting a losing battle, so I let it go. Now it's starting to die back, so we'll get a bucket, a couple potatoes, probably enough for a meal out of that anyway, so that's good enough. I ain't worried too much about it. But these amaranths are taking over the world. I cut a bunch off our beets a couple weeks ago, and she laid them down there on the ground where she planted some potatoes down below the potato bed. Yeah, so it's nothing else. They'll rot up down there and build some soil for us. There is some zucchini, and I don't see the watermelon, but I know we planted some. And last time I looked, I did notice some, but I don't see any right. All right, there's one. There's a watermelon right there, but I'm sure it's not going to get enough light to do anything.
Well, yeah, but it's still growing.
I'll pull it. There's some weeds back in there, but I'm not too much worried about the weeds back in there. You can't see them, so I ain't going to worry about them. But me personally, I like the chaos of this bed. This bed right here to me is pretty cool. I might do more beds like this next year. We'll see how things go with the beans and the wild amaranth coming up and everything else. I think it looks pretty cool. Here's some cucumbers. These actually are looking pretty good. This is probably some of the nicest looking cucumber plants we've ever grown, to be honest with you.
Really?
Yeah, there's no bug damage whatsoever on
I forgot we put cucumber plants in there.
Might be a little bit of bug damage there, but all in all, and there's lots of flowers down there.
Wow.
Cool. And there's another marigold. Not that you can see it, but it's growing. It's actually got buds on it. I don't know how it's growing like that with no light, but it definitely is. So
maybe it likes the shade.
Maybe it does. There's another watermelon stretching to the light. And here is a zucchini, and it too has a zucchini on it. Actually, there's 2 on it. Neither one of those are ready to harvest yet. And yes, there's bird crap on them. They perch up here and they do what they do. They eat bugs and crap. You know how birds are.
Perch and crap.
Perch and crap. And on this side of this same bed, we have pole beans and broccolis and lots of dill. This is where I planted the dill. It just stretched itself over that way. But and this side is actually doing really well. The broccolis I put in with a cedar. I can't remember how long ago it was. Hopefully they soon start forming heads, but they haven't yet. But they're doing pretty good. There's some bug damage on these, but not a whole lot. This year you'd want to get rid of all of them you ever find in your garden.
Yes.
Anybody would ever plant those needs to make sure you get all of them out that you see.
I pulled, I don't know how many out of the beets.
I pulled, I don't know how many of them either in this garden this year. Those are, what they are is a
ground cherry.
Ground cherries. They're small tomatillos. They are really good, but they fall to the ground. And when they fall to the ground, you can't really, a lot of times you don't see them. We actually have some, looks like might be some buckwheat, I guess is what that is in here. Red flowers on it.
Wow.
Pretty nice. I'm not going to worry about it. I'll let it do its thing. We have beets over here. We've actually canned all the beets we're going to can. She pulled some for the market this weekend. So we'll have beets for a few weeks at the market till this bed's cleaned out. When it's cleaned out, I'll probably just put a cover crop in it. I probably won't worry too much about anything else growing in this bed this year. Probably won't. But I want to show you down here on this end. Them broccolis actually down here is looking so good.
Them's the best we've ever had.
Them are usually when we grow broccoli, they get so much bug damage. It's crazy.
Wonder if it's because of they gotten some shade and they got dealing with it.
A lot of it's because of the shade. A lot of it's because they're entangled with so many other crops. The bugs can't smell what they're looking for.
Okay.
And they're healthy, so bugs usually don't necessarily eat really healthy plants.
True.
So I guess it to be a lot of it's the beans, and the beans is helping them with the nitrogen, and the dill's helping with the smell, maybe. I don't know. Amaranth's probably helping some. All that stuff's working.
With the color.
Right. But down here, there is actually, if you come in here, let me see your camera there, camera lady. There's a pumpkin coming up. Not sure what kind that is, but it's definitely doing pretty well. There's one way down in there. It's growing fairly well. I don't see any seeds over here now at all, but there is a blue Hubbard that I wanted to show you that I noticed last evening. It's right there growing. These here are really, really delicious. They're goofy looking, but they're scrumptious, and we've grown them before, and we've bought some before, and they get about 15 to 20 pounds.
Look at that one.
Oh, she found a bigger one.
Oh my golly.
Heck yeah, man, that there's huge too.
Jeez. Already this early in the season.
Yeah, but it's a winter squash, a pumpkin, so you don't harvest those till you can't really see it in the camera. It's right there. You don't harvest those till the plant dies back. There's a delicante right there. It's just now starting to form. But there's a fair many coming on here, so we should have a fair bit of winter squash. I don't think I put any spaghetti squash in this bed or the other bed up above this year. I don't think. Here's another. Couple more Hubbards right there. Small one starting to form. And there's another little one. I'm not sure what kind that over there is. It's all white. We got some tromboncinos in here as well.
We got some other different kinds.
Yeah. But all in all, they're doing pretty good. I was concerned about the beetles and whatnot, and so far, knock on wood, we haven't had any problem with them.
As they get bigger and bigger, they're looking better and better. Yeah,
there's some of them starting to die back, and I wonder if there's not some vine borers attacking certain ones. I have read somewhere that the vine borers will get after your blue Hubbards quicker than they will the rest of them. So, if that's the case, that is what it is. I haven't seen any vine borers, but I want to guess that's what the problem is while they're looking like they are over there, some of them. But all in all, they're doing pretty well. These here's are jalapenos, and they're doing really good. Next week we'll probably have some of those for the market. Maybe not. But
we'll have.
They're definitely doing pretty good.
Yeah.
All of these jalapenos are looking really well. And then you get down on the other end of this. We put some marigolds in this bed too. I'm not sure what kind these are pepperoncinis is what these are. These little or lower ones. And they're doing pretty well. They're starting to grow even on them goofy ones. It's hardly even there anymore. They're still getting some on them. These down on this end's problemos. I never noticed a flower or anything on any of these. So I don't know if we'll get any or not off of them. Hopefully, there's some flowers on that one. So we may get something out of it. I don't know. We'll see. And our tomatoes on this side, they're starting to get blight on them for some reason, but that's fine too. It ain't hurting anything really. I just need to go through and cut off the dead. These here's are either are these on this side are either the chickens crack me up. Sorry, I get distracted.
Chandler has something, and Houdini's chasing her.
Yeah, it's funny. I don't know what she has, but she does have something in her mouth. And they all go after her. It's kind of funny. Chickens are hilarious. one of the little ones got out the other day, and we caught her and cut her wings. So
she hasn't got out since.
well, she can't now. She can't fly.
Yeah, you.
These here are either our paste or big canning tomatoes. Either one. I'm not sure. They're just mixed and matched in. So this one here, I don't know what's wrong with it, but it's definitely got something wrong with it. It's not going to make it, whatever it is. I have no idea, but I've never seen one curl up like that before.
Huh.
Definitely got some kind of virus. I probably should pull that one out of the ground and get rid of it. But these down here is our cherry tomatoes, and they're doing very good as usual. Our cherry tomatoes always do really well. I need to go through and prune them.
We always have success with them.
Plenty of videos on pruning cherry tomatoes. If you want to look at them, I'll leave a link below to our cherry tomato growing guides. I don't know how many, but a fair many videos on them. I'm not going to go through it and explain it this evening, but we did last evening. We planted some marigolds in the tomatoes too. I thought somewhere all down that other end. There's some that didn't make it, so I just drilled a hole and popped them in. I don't know that the marigolds are going to make it either, because some of them look pretty rough, but it'll be what it'll be. Some of these tomatoes don't look all that great either, but they're all in all they're doing pretty well. The cherries, some of them not so much, but most of them ain't bad. So we'll see. We usually have a pretty good crop of these, and they usually do us fairly well at the farmers market too, as far as that goes. So what will they do this year? Who knows? Maybe nothing. We should have some. I won't say for sure. Probably next weekend we'll have some. We won't have. There's not enough ready this weekend to get any more to worry about it. But she did prune them today, I think she said.
Not these ones.
No, not these ones. The ones up there in the cattle panel tunnel.
Yeah.
These here, some of them need pruned. They all need twisted again. But I'll probably work on that this evening after the video's over with. It's not on my list, but it needs done. So what do? Put it on your list for tomorrow night and stick to your list. You get more done if you do a list and you stick to it in the evenings after work.
A daily list.
Yep, a daily list and then a big list. Then we have a wish list too on things we want, but not things we want, but things we want for the homestead or the farm. That's going to wrap us up here, I think. So if you're not subscribed, please do so. We got more videos like this. Lots of videos like this, and we have more videos. We're going to do a tour of our small garden sometime this week. Not 100% sure what night that'll come out. This will come out on Thursday evening, so maybe Saturday evening we'll have the small garden tour come out, and then Mondays we have our normal update thing, which shows everything except for we don't go into in-depth like this. If you like this video, like it, let us know if you want more in-depth videos. I could go into more detail on a lot of this stuff. I didn't go into a lot of detail other than on that squash bed, because I like how it's turning out. Definitely going to do more of that in the future. We got some cover crops we just did last night video. I posted it this evening, so make sure you watch them, follow along if you liked it. So till we meet again, take care and God bless.
See ya.